We've all had a moment in shows that made us roll our eyes. Seeing it once or twice, alright, but seeing it every show you watch, it starts to get exhausting. Today we're talking about the worst tropes in anime. Let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. Have you ever had a moment where you tripped over absolutely nothing and then end up with a handful of honkers? And no, I don't mean you accidentally touched them with your hand. I meant full on grabbing like a hungry fucking dog. No? Because apparently that shit is universal to all the male characters in anime. Like, come on, you cannot tell me that this shit wasn't premeditated. First of all, you trip over the lightest breeze imaginable, and second of all, how do you even end up in this situation? I could have sworn when you were falling, your hands were heading towards your legs. How the fuck did your grabby palms end up on the chest area? I've gotta give it to the dudes though. They are really good at acting. I almost believe that they felt embarrassment or shame, despite staying frozen in the same spot for a good 10 seconds. And then of course, the icing on the cake is a girl who turns bright red and that screeches out the loudest pervs you'll ever hear while slapping the ever-living shit out of the perpetrators. And I'll be real, they fucking deserve it. Because some of the same motherfuckers also had the audacity to go for a second bite as well. Some are having the same shit happen to them again and again. That clumsy act ain't fooling anyone, bruh. We all know that you're a very dirty, calculated rat. I think that we're all getting tired of this trope. It's just out there for cheap comedy and fan service. I'll be honest, the first few times I might have chuckled a little bit, you know? But you cannot expect the same reaction after I saw this type of scene more than my own parents. The people defending these scenes are either new to anime or they're the types that would immediately bust in their pants. No in between. Okay, this doesn't bother me too much, but I'll still add in. Anime sure as hell knows how to make food look as appealing as possible. Legit, every time when I see some snack on the screen, it's always this juicy, delicious looking dish that's just catcalling me. But on top of the god looking nourishment that's calling my name, the characters eating them aren't helping either. Making these noises that make you think that they went to heaven and back. It's as if you're just starving but not allowed to eat. But then right in front of you, you see this dickhead just demolishing the tastiest looking meal ever spotted. There's also one thing that's the case mainly among the female characters, where they take the most minuscule bite possible. It's like the one scene where Squid was trying his first crab patty, taking barely half a fucking crumb, but they're still making noises like... How? How does one taste this much flavor after biting the same amount as a grain of sand? And with how small the amount is that they're eating, I'm not even surprised with the body type they're rocking. No fucking shit that you're wasted this small where you're eating an amount comparable to an ant. And also, it can be the most basic food on the planet, like, I don't know, instant noodles or something, and they'll still do shit like... They're just flexing that they have food while I'm starving behind my screen. These creators, bruh, every time when I'm thinking, hey, this anime doesn't have fan service, hooray, or whatever, they always just bitch slap me with one of these fucking episodes. What I imagine is going on in the studio is, as they're making these shows, they'll have a random thought bubble forming in their head where they're like, I feel like something is missing. And then they look at the female cast and they realize that their watermelons haven't been shown off yet. Take it to those poor gooners who, because of the lack of skin, are probably tweaking by now. Like, there's no other reason for these episodes to exist other than fan service. Skipping these episodes probably doesn't hurt you whatsoever either, since most of the time, nothing important happens other than a middle schooler that's just bending over. Hell, it's gonna be the middle of winter and we'll still see bullshit like this popping up. And listen, I don't mind these episodes if they actually brought something to the table, right? Like an important plot point or whatever. But they're almost always an excuse to let the Discord mods relieve themselves. And a lot of times when anime do these types of stuff, they're one of those types that maybe have like 12 episodes or something. Nothing more than that. So instead of sneaking in one of these garbage episodes, use a waste of time to not rush a half-ass ending instead. And the next thing that I'm gonna say is more like a meeting. But you don't understand the pain of watching these types of episodes while sitting isolated in my room with 5 layers of blankets, turning myself into a human burrito because of the fucked up winter locking me in. Like, I also want to be able to go to the beach. So, my hate for these episodes is not only because I hate unnecessary fan service, but also because of pure jealousy. I have already complained about the tsundere. In short, they're these annoying, abusive little brats, kicking a guy's ass every chance they get simply because they themselves don't know how to hide their feelings well enough. Like, how is that his problem? Why is he getting punished for it? A normal person would immediately lose interest in that situation like that, right? But somehow, the mentally challenged main character is just drooling for this girl, being wrapped around her finger and shit. That being said, I think everyone used to have a phase where they were mainly into rom-coms and other type of romantic slop. I had one of those moments as well, so I've seen quite a few of them. But every time when I see a big-ass female cast, you can always just guess who ended up winning, because all you had to do was searching which one had the biggest behavioral issues. Like, it doesn't matter if the main character is surrounded by 3 supermodels who are handcrafted by God or whatever, because no matter what, the chopped-ass tsundere who is built like an 8-year-old still gets a crown. Like, bro, this makes these types of shows so predictable, which is exactly why I stopped watching a lot of them. It's as if these main characters have some type of superhero complex, feeling like Bob the Builder, thinking they can fix anything and everything, including this bitch. Normally I would say wrap it up, right? Because in real life, you just welch yourself in a domestic violence helpline. But yeah, this is anime, so being a doormat somehow does the trick. Like, I think I've only seen a few times where a tsundere lost, and that feeling is actually euphoric, giving the show an immediate S tier rating for me. But yeah, seeing how popular these fuckers are, I think we'll see a change happening anytime soon. Speaking of romantic slop, these moments make them even more unbearable, making me want to smash my head against the wall and hoping to develop a stroke afterwards. Like, you're telling me I wasted 3 hours of my life for this shit to build up to this moment, just to see you fumble the bag? And then afterwards the show has the audacity to force me to waste even more time of my life? I think we've all seen these moments. The two lovebirds are alone and the dude finally gets the guts to ask her out, but instead of being direct with it, he's just stuttering, sounding like a DJ set with extra latency or whatever, making the confession stretch from 10 seconds at max to 3 entire minutes. And for some reason, the girl is just standing there patiently waiting for him to finish, just to have an annoying ass side character ruining the moment. If only I was there to strangle this motherfucker with my own bare hands. But alright, sometimes it's not even the guy that confesses, but the girl. Giving the guy, I know, a kiss on the cheek or whatever. But for some reason, the fucking dude just replies with, "What was that?" This fucktard honestly believes that it was the wind or something. Like, how many times did you guys have a breeze give you a kiss on the cheek? I personally haven't, but I assume it's the most normal thing for this guy. And this isn't even a one-off thing either, because they always find a reason to start hesitating or interrupting another attempted confession. Like, please, just get this shit over with. I just want my lonely ass to sleep in peace knowing two fictional characters have their happily ever after. I was already over this shit after episode 2, but for some reason I decided to torture myself through 2 entire seasons, just to get the shittiest ending. I've already complained about the pervy guys, but let's look at their female counterparts. The ones that are using the genitals as a get out of jail free card, grabbing left and right, doing the type of shit that would get a guy to serve multiple life sentences. Okay, I cannot use that argument in this situation, because let's be real, a guy that does that type of shit might only just get a slap in the face, losing a few teeth and shit, but other than that, they're completely fine. And unlike those male characters, the perfect girl never gets any consequence for what they're doing. They're just there for comic relief minus the punch. And I don't know if these studios just want to be inclusive or something like that, because if they are, they've got the spirit but are a little confused. Oftentimes these characters are the female friend of their victims. How they're still friends, I have no clue. Maybe it's a little different from the girl's perspective, right? Like, maybe they're cool with that type of shit, I have no clue. But if I had buddies just jingling my nutsack, I would probably stick a cactus down their throat. But yeah, that's me. Personally, I haven't seen this trope as much, though I have seen people complain about it here and there. But again, I've already spoken about the perverts, so repeating everything I've said just makes me sound like a broken record. Anyway, that was it for today. If I've missed any other tropes, drop them down below and I'll see you guys in the next one.